Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we are looking at Essential Judge Dredd, Necropolis, which I believe is volume 5 of the Essential Judge Dredd line. This is a line from Rebellion, reprinting what I guess they consider to be classic Judge Dredd stories, who of course is the character from British Comics 2000 AD and the Judge Dredd magazine. And also 2 films, one cheesy one with Sylvester Stallone, one pretty awesome one with Carl Urban. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out. What about the volume itself, before we get to the contents? It is a soft cover, but I have to say it's a pretty sturdy soft cover. It feels somewhat thicker than you would normally get for a soft cover edition. Price wise, it is, let me have a look. It is $29, $39 Canadian, or £22. The other thing to mention is, if you're used to Marvel and DC comics, it is somewhat bigger than your usual sized graphic novel there. Okay, so what have we got inside? Essential Judge Dredd. The Essential Judge Dredd graphic novel series, the ultimate introduction to the lawman of the future. The Big Meg is under siege from the Dark Judges. Dredd has been exiled to the harsh wastelands of the cursed earth, and time is running out for the citizens he once swore to protect. With the body count rising and hope running out, will the judges be able to turn back the tide of death? This 5th volume of the Essential Judge Dredd series is the ultimate Judge Dredd versus the Dark Judges storyline. A comic book summer blockbuster, written and drawn by Dredd's co-creators John Wagner and Carlos Ezquerra. It's up to Dredd to reclaim his badge from the imposter Judge Kraken and retake Mega City 1 from the grip of death, fear, fire and mortis. So this is basically the story that follows on from the previous stories featuring Judge Death and the Dark Judges. Judge Death being a character from another dimension where they decided that crime was committed by the living, so being alive was a crime, so therefore everyone was sentenced to death. And he then turned up in Judge Dredd's dimension with the idea of carrying on this conviction. And after a couple of stories he was backed up by his fellow Dark Judges Fear, Fire and Mortis, before all being banished to some sort of limbo zone. Now in Necropolis we are introduced to the Sisters of Death, Phobia and Nausea, and they managed to establish a presence in Mega City 1, and they set about taking control of the judges, the city in general, and trying to get Judge Death and the other Dark Judges freed from limbo to carry on their mission. Now prior to this, Judge Dredd himself has taken the long walk, which essentially means he's retired, and he has been replaced by another judge who is a clone from the same bloodline that they are pretending is just Judge Dredd himself, so that the citizens do not know Judge Dredd has left the city. So contents wise, obviously the bulk of this volume is taken up with the Necropolis storyline, which consists of something like 26 parts, 25, 26, 27 parts, something like that. But we also have several stories leading up to Necropolis, which are all co-headed as the countdown to Necropolis. So the first story we have is called By Lethal Injection, and this centres on the replacement clone of Judge Dredd. Now that is a 2-part story, which is then followed by Rites of Succession, which is a 1-part story which just follows the new clone and shows us how he's getting on with stepping into Dredd's boots. And we then have a 2-part story called Dear Annie, which shows us exactly how the Sisters of Death managed to establish a foothold in Mega City 1. And this is then followed by Necropolis itself, which as I said makes up the bulk of the volume and features the Sisters of Death attempting to release the Dark Judges to continue their mission of just basically killing everyone. Now in addition to this, in the back of the volume we do have a gallery which is made up of, I think there's one pin-up there, one piece of artwork, and a whole bunch of covers reproduced from 2000 AD. So that's Essential Judge Dredd Necropolis. That is it for this video. Until next time, remember, hit the thumbs up below, and I will see you in the next one.